Hello, Kenosha and surrounding area. No, this is not my good morning video. Today, I first am offering you something a little bit different, something new. So last week, I had the surprising pleasure of Nuke Plant Chickens reaching out to me and offering me a chance to listen to their latest release, Ribeye of the Sky. And of course, I jumped on that. I love all music, and I especially love local music. So I took the time to listen this over, and I want to share some thoughts with you about this release because it is incredible, and I have a lot to say about it. And I'm going to do so on this video in a more brief way. However, on saintofsix.com, in the link that I'll put in the comments, you have a much longer, more detailed review that I encourage you to check out, as well as a chance to stream Ribeye of the Sky with an embedded Spotify link. So Nuke Plant Chickens is a six-piece band, and they had their first show right here in Kenosha in July 2022 at Rustic Road Brewing Company. It started with kind of a family affair. You have Ethan and Cameron Dorman, who are on guitar and bass respectively, who joined forces with Jeff Horton, their cousin, who jumped on vocals. At the time, Ethan and Cameron had a thrash metal band, and that already contained Hunter and Max. So, Nuke Plant Chicken's core members were together pretty early on. However, it wasn't until that first show that they got their last member because Chloe was in the crowd and would join the band a few months later. So, from 2024 to now, you've had your official lineup and current lineup of the Nuke Plant Chickens that you know and love, and Ethan, Cameron, Jeff, Chloe, Max, and Hunter. For one, the mix and mastering is masterful on this, and that can be owed a lot to guitarist Ethan, who manager Jonathan Dorman, who I had the pleasure of conversing with throughout this process to get some background information about the band, pointed out that Ethan actually did a lot of the guitar parts at home and did a lot of the editing on the final mastering of this. So kudos to him because that is a great job, and that only comes from a lot of focus, commitment, and going through that very, very meticulous and annoying process. So you did such a great job, my friend. Really, just awesome. And when it comes to the art, that actually comes from Chloe. She made that from scratch. And according to Horton, Chloe is a very, very talented painter, calligrapher, photographer, and very, very talented in visual arts. So you're seeing that anytime that you look at Ribeye the Sky. I love an ambient opener. And Paris, Wisconsin, the first track, from the second those palm muted guitar notes hit your ears and bounce back and forth, oh, for me, it just sucked me right in. And knowing the area and driving around there, I see flashes of, for my own life, of just moving around Paris. And this sets the tone. It really does for the whole thing. And it kind of gives you a nice little stroll into it before you're hit with the second track, which is Springback Rifle or Springfield Rifle. So that introduces you to the full band, and that's where you first hear Horton's vocals. And the thing I appreciate about the vocals in this band and Horton's vocals is that this dude can be gritty or smooth, chaotic or smooth, and only either one when he wants to be. I mean, I've watched him go from a really raspy, gritty growl to a straight, smooth croon. And Jesus, that is the mark of somebody who is just supremely talented. And Nuke Plant Chickens has that kind of talent in Horton. And it shows throughout this entire thing. Now, when it comes to the build of this whole thing, so the first third of it, I would say, is your pure electric Nuke Plant Chickens. These are the ones that you dance to at shows. These are the ones that you sing along. These are the ones you cheer on. About the fifth track, you start to see a subtle shift in things, and it really takes root, I think, in the sixth one. Everything is circular. You start to see them doing this clever thing that bands do sometimes, and they sometimes it's very effective, sometimes it's too jarring. But here it's perfect. Is that around everything is circular, you start to notice that the guitars switch from electric to acoustic. And this is I think intentional because it draws the crowd you in just a little closer. Okay, I just want to tell you something. And that is key for what is the most emotional track. And honestly, the biggest gut punch of emotional gut punch for recording I think I've encountered in a long time, and that is the seventh track of this release, and that is Mournfully. Mournfully, hands down, is the emotional center of this entire release. Ooh, it is a moment where if you think you've never had a closeness to Nuke Plant Chickens, this will make you feel as if you are so close to them that you can feel just how hard it was to record this song. Now, well, I won't go into the background of it or anything like that. I can say this song is something that's very meaningful to the band, and you can hear it in every note. You can hear it in Horton's voice, and it is not a hard listen that way, but it's something to where you'll feel the emotional depth of it. You'll feel it in Horton's voice, how it breaks here and there. You'll feel it in the instruments, the blend of the guitar and the bass. Everything with this track is this perfect expression of love and grief, I think. And that's what I love about it. Mournfully is, ooh, I had to sit down and think a little and just take a moment, pause after I listened to this one. But this one, this is my favorite hands down. In fact, it has some lines that I'm just going to read for you before I move on. And this comes, I believe, in the chorus, but let me just read them for you because I know they're going to stick in my head for a long time. So it says, he defies conventional wisdom. He defies those who rank above him. He defies those who seek to lead him astray. He defies preconceived notions of people afraid. Listen to the rest of that song and listen to it closely, and I believe you'll figure out the story behind it. And you'll get why it was so hard. But it's beautiful. It's a masterpiece of emotion. And really, few bands can pull off such a gut punch and in the middle of an album that is more hard rock, more dance or rhythm heavy. And this is just a masterful little drop of needle right here. And of course, the band knows that this is a heavy one because they pick you right back up and go start climbing again back where they left you with the more electric Nuke Plant Chickens with the track right after I Can Change You. And then by the time that you're hitting Vegas Nerve and the final track, Jotner, you are back dancing and bouncing around again and lively. And they leave you right where they found you. But in a way, which is kind of funny given that Jotner is, more Norse mythology, listening to this kind of follows the literary hero's journey as somebody experiencing it. You start where you are, and then you go on the journey of experiencing everything that Nuke Plant Chickens is throwing at you. And by the time you're done, you're still in the same place. You're back, you're still home. But something's a little bit different. Maybe it's perspective. I don't know. But something. And for the better. So I really can't recommend this enough. I love it. I think that this is something, it's not the end of anything. It's not the culmination of anything with Nuke Plant Chickens. This is the first significant notch in what I believe is the beginning of what the band is becoming. And I expect so many great things from this band in the future. And I look forward to anything that they do from this point on, and you should too. So check out Nuke Plant Chickens Ribeye of the Sky. It's out on all streaming services. You can stream it on saintofsix.com, where I've embedded the Spotify playlist of it. But really, get your hands on this by either going to see them this Saturday at McAuliffe's or around town and experience it for yourself. This is something that Kenosha should be proud of, for the fact that we have a band like Nuke Plant Chickens creating something of this quality in our city. But also, support these local artists in our city that are doing this incredible work. Because without our support, they can't keep doing it. Thank you for watching this. Again, I have a more detailed review at saintofsix.com for you to enjoy. But beyond that, please support the band, check out the release, and take care of yourself until we see each other again.